Hi friends, it's Fumblin. How are you all today? Today I wanted to just have a relaxing video and discuss how I feel about Garfield and what I think of him in general in the meta and how good he is. We're going to go through a few different questions and I want to answer them with you all and have a little discussion. So the first thing that I wanted to do is talk about just his inclusion, how it impacts the game, and am I happy with it? Now, overall, I'm really happy that Garfield is in the game. He might not be the first thing that people think of when they think about Nickelodeon, but he is a very iconic character and honestly a fantastic choice for the game. He's bringing a lot of people back in to the game who have otherwise maybe left for a while, waiting for some DLC or some patches. He is definitely a great character to bring people back, and that has been super successful. And personally, I think that he is a fantastic choice, and I think he's really fun as well. He is kind of a mixed zoner. I would say he's more of like a trapper. He wants to put down Pookie, his bear, and attempt to take control of the stage, forcing some approaches, or even you can play him aggressively. He's got pretty good tools to go in with his aerial lights and cover his approach, or, you know, even cover him moving away with his neutral special, his pies. And I think it's super fun. I'm typically somebody who likes playing sort of a mid type of character who has zoning tools when they need them, but isn't completely helpless when somebody jumps on top of them. And I don't think Garfield has too much trouble with that. And he's super fun for me. The kind of characters I like, to reiterate a little bit, is characters who have nice, I call them ping pong combos. So, for example, hitting the down special, the Pookie bear, into an aerial up strong, for example. Super fun to do. I thoroughly enjoy combos like that. I mean, I'm a Rosalina main. I play Apsa in Rivals of Aether. I love having a projectile of sorts or a puppet of sorts that you can control to an extent to be able to hit into you so that you can do a back and forth. It's like a team combo, but with your own tools. That is some of the most exciting gameplay for me. So I definitely like Garfield's gameplay. I definitely don't think that his how fun he is a problem for me. I think he is absolutely a fantastic fun character. Now, expanding from that, I want to talk about how I think he actually fits into the meta and also how he affects the meta. Now, the meta of this game is highly defensive right now at a high level. You'll notice a lot of the top players, when they're competing for, you know, something big on the line, you're gonna see a lot of them resort to very heavily defensive play. And although that is common across any fighting game when you're playing for keeps, it is greatly pronounced in this game. A lot of the high-level players I talk to, as well as myself, we honestly believe that this game is very much in what we call a shield meta. The shielding in this game, especially with the grab nerfs in the recent patch, has become pretty overbearingly powerful, and we'd like to see some changes to shield, but I don't want to talk specifically about the meta. I just want to touch on what it is like right now, because I wanted to talk about Garfield in it. Now, Garfield is a defensive character at heart. He is definitely designed to be sort of a zoner. I know zoner is kind of becoming a taboo word in the FGC, but it's what the easiest way to describe Garfield is. He's a trap heavy character. He's got two different projectiles. One is for stage control, one is to force approaches, and that's kind of how he's designed to be. However, I don't think that he fits incredibly well into the meta, even though he is a defensive character in a defensive meta, because anyone in the game is able to play defensive and be successful. It doesn't take a zoner to do that. It doesn't take projectiles to be defensive in this game. With how good shielding is, if you aren't shielding, you're probably trying to put on pressure, and to be honest, the pressure that projectiles put in the game right now is very lackluster. If you are throwing a pie at somebody at mid to long range, it is incredibly easy to react to and just simply shield. Even if you aren't power shielding it, you simply shield it, and Garfield can't follow up on it because his animations are too slow out of his projectiles. So you'll see a pie thrown and then it just gets shielded, or in worst case, it even gets grabbed and thrown back, or even thrown away from the Garfield player so that they can't catch it and throw it back. Sometimes it's even easy to dash attack into a pie or into the Pookie Bear to just get rid of the projectile and close the distance. So honestly, as the Garfield player, when I am playing him, I feel like that anytime I throw a pie in neutral when I am not at advantage, or anytime that I decide to throw my bear at the opponent, it is almost always a negative gain for me. I tend to lose neutral advantage. I tend to lose stage presence when I do so, and that is a big problem of how projectiles work in this game right now. There are good projectiles, but the good projectiles are ones like, we'll take Gur for example, likely the best projectile in the game at the moment. And also, we'll also talk about at the same time SpongeBob's Bubble. Both of these projectiles are slow moving projectiles that you have a lot of control over, that are close to you, that you can actually follow up the pressure with. Now, if you take that and compare it to Garfield's neutral special, his pies are just not doing enough in shield pressure and in just general stage presence because of how long it takes to actually get out of the in lag throwing his projectiles. And this goes for both of them, not just the pies, but also Pookie. You end up in a situation where you are basically giving your opponent time to run up, shield, run up, dash attack, run up, grab your projectile, and by time that they've dealt with your projectile, you have just gotten out of lag and they are now closer and they are at stage advantage. So the only viable projectiles in this game right now, in my opinion on the meta, is going to be projectiles that are slow moving, that the player can follow up with, so that if, say, you try to grab the projectile, you can be right there in their face punishing it, while Garfield is not able to do that. Also, Garfield's unable to grab his bear once it's on the ground, like Zim can with Gur, so he's unable to reposition, unable to throw it out and grab it and mix up the distance, mix up the timing with the bear. It's not really possible. Also, the recall on the bear is incredibly slow. Getting a combo out of it is nearly impossible unless they simply DI into you at a perfect spot and you react immediately. It's not easy, and this isn't coming from a player who isn't used to these types of tools. I'm a player who, in most platform fighters, tend to levitate towards characters like this, but I don't think that they perfected it with Garfield, and I hope to see buffs on these moves because this is kind of what I believe they want Garfield to be, and it's just not working right now, as well as I believe that it should. I end up having the most success with Garfield when I am being aggressive with my light down airs, the multi-hits on shield. His shield pressure is very good, but only with his actual approaches and his neutrals, not his projectiles. And I think that is something I hope that changes in the future. And that's my thoughts on how he fits into the meta and how he affects the meta. And I wanted to talk about, I already touched a little bit on how good I think he is with some of these tools, but overall I feel like without his main tools being that viable in neutral, I don't feel like that he is that good. And another reason is that his combo game, although his juggle game is actually excellent, he's got disjointed up air, his nair hits all around him and combos pretty well. His lights on the ground all pop up incredibly well if your opponent DIs in, which also can lead into amazing kill confirms as well. I think that he does a lot when it comes to his normals, I'll call them, but when it comes to overall how good he is, I feel like that his specials are pretty much wasted. His recovery as well, his up special, is pretty slow, pretty bad, very predictable. You can change the trajectory a little bit, but all in all, it's fairly easy to just grab a ledge against him or to intercept him or even just shield and wait for him to hit stage. His recovery is quite possibly the worst in the game, in my opinion. It is a problem. I think all of his specials are problematic for him, not doing a lot. I think his strongs as well are very slow, and only a couple of them in certain situations as well are even powerful enough to justify how slow they are. So I think that Garfield's normals are fantastic. His juggles are pretty good, but he's got so many negative things going for him that I don't think he's actually that good right now. And with some small adjustments, I think that this character can be good. I think that he isn't brokenly bad. I just think that he needs little pushes, especially with his specials and his zoning potential. He can be an incredibly fun, incredibly good character in the meta with these tiny changes. I'm not going to sit here and say what I think the changes should or shouldn't be. It's a little too early for me to have an opinion on that, but I do hope that the devs at least can recognize the issues and start brainstorming what to do about it, because I think that would be incredibly great for Garfield players or people who are interested, even potentially already having Garfield mains right now. But am I happy with him? Yes, I am incredibly happy with Garfield, his inclusion in the game. His design is spectacular. If he was better, he would be more fun. He would be more viable to bring into tournaments, of course, and I would likely play him as probably a secondary because I love the kit that he has. I love what he brings to the table. I just don't think that it's a complete package right now. I think that the things that are good about him are things that are basically average, and the things that are bad are going to be things that are below average, things that his tools that are supposed to be really carrying him and his neutral are, in my opinion, just not really living up to the standard that is required for a good projectile character in this game. Projectiles are in general struggling. There are only a few that are very good, and with the way that Garfield's kit is designed and with the in lag that he has on some of these moves, and being unable to combo out of these moves or play around with the projectiles by grabbing them, throwing them around, setting them, I think that he's an incomplete character, almost, I would describe it. And although I am happy with him overall, I am mostly happy with his design, but not necessarily how he has been implemented as a whole, and I hope that changes in the upcoming patches. This is a fantastic start, and that's why I'm so excited for Garfield and for the future of his meta. And I hope that even if nothing changes with Garfield, that we do get some good players to develop some nice strategies with him. I look forward to seeing him at a high level. So my final thoughts on him is that I am happy with his inclusion, and that I think that he was a great choice and that he's incredibly fun, and I have high hopes for his future. But I don't think he fits that well into the meta. I don't think that he really affects the meta or changes the meta, really. I think that he's going to be, as a whole, kind of ignored. I don't think that many people are going to worry about the Garfield matchup for their character. I think that he's going to end up struggling at high level right now, and I hope that that changes. I hope to see some good stuff from him. And yeah, I'm really happy with him, but I don't think that he's that good. If I had to place him, I would put him probably bottom 3. I am going to make a tier list soon here. We'll see if I decide to put him bottom 3 or not, but that's kind of what my hypothesis is at the moment. I want to put him higher. I love him so much, but I'll go into detail in a later video about exactly why I'm placing him low. But for now, I hope that I have given a good enough idea of how I feel about Garfield. Let me know in the comments how you all feel about his inclusion. Answer some of these questions that I asked myself. I think it's healthy to do when we have a big new character or a new patch like this. Just ask ourselves, are we happy? Is this what we want? What do we expect from the future? I say that it's getting there. I say that this is that this has been quite a good inclusion and very good idea for his kit. And yeah, I'm very happy to see what is going to happen in the future, and I hope you all are too. So thank you so much for watching. This is a more relaxing video. We are talking about something serious here with the meta and competitive gameplay of a new character, but I wanted to have a more relaxed tone coming into a serious topic like this to kind of counteract the topic with the tone and the mood. I hope that you all enjoyed this. I will gladly do more things like this in the future. Let me know what your thoughts are on Garfield and on the video in general down in the comments. I would love to see what you all think. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye, friends!